Last time out, Coach Bearington and our Giants took on two opponents. Both were close games, but both went in different fashions against the Colts. It was all Colts in that first half, but come the second half, we started to turn things on. We made some big plays on defense, and ultimately, we come away with the win, 35-30. We followed that road trip up with another road game, this time taking on Baltimore. And while that game did finish close, we had that one on our side throughout a majority, taking away Lamar Jackson, though he did have a couple big plays there late, making things nerve-wracking. But we pulled it off 27-24. And our road trip will continue, now traveling out to Seattle to face the 2-3 Seahawks. But before we make the trip to Seattle, Coach Bearington was doing a little bit of some future planning, taking a look at who was up for contracts and some possible decisions that need to be made. And a key piece of that is Bobby Okereke. He's been a key piece of this team since day one, but his interest level is just not there. The good news is that interest level is there for Drew Sanders. With Eric Kendricks also looking to be done after this season, we're going to be pretty light at linebacker. But there just so happens to be one player on the block that only costs about $1 million, and he's 23 years old. Barrett Carter out of Clemson is in his second year with the Bengals, and frankly, he's just not seeing much playing time. He's got good speed. He's got a good floor of block shedding with zone to work a little bit on that man coverage. Injury could be a little bit of a concern at 87. And when we call up the Bengals asking what they're looking at, well, they have interest in Elijah Chapman in a man-for-man trade. And as a reminder, Chapman for us is a little bit expendable, especially after we drafted Hunter Jones, who arguably should be seeing some playing time. And in a little bit more fairness, we will offer up our pick 191, and in return, we will move back to 219, adding a little bit of something extra there for the Bengals, again in terms of realism. And that'll be an easy move made, securing a linebacker spot in the future. So Barrett Carter will be added then to the depth chart over at the will linebacker spot, and Eric Kendricks will become the primary backup. And that'll provide Coach Bearington a little bit more time to try to work out a deal with Sanders and potentially raise some interest level in Bobby Okereke. Otherwise, our future might be two linebackers we traded for. Well, with that move made, it's time to strap up and head out onto the field in Seattle, Lumen Field, as our New York Giants take on a fellow NFC team trying to overtake a rival for their top spot. Meanwhile, we're trying to hold on to ours over on the NFC East. And in honor of Seattle's 50 year, we will be rocking the throwbacks. It was either that or the rivalries. And as Vallejo catches this one inside the 5, he'll just take it right up the numbers and be the 27-yard line where we are set to begin. Jackson Dart having a pretty solid sophomore campaign. Couple of bumps here and there. But most of the time the bumps really are not his fault. At the 27, we begin with a little bit of some play action. A little slow reaction, but Dart finally catches his feet before sliding down. A gain of 9. A similar play kick-started the previous game against the Ravens. Dart was unable to catch his feet. Much improved second start as Scattaboo down the middle. He gets forward to the 49. Pre-game, Coach Bearington talked a little bit more about some rotation at that running back spot. That and for the defensive tackles, we'll get to that when that time arrives. Big hit. Witherspoon knocks down Fightin. And today for Seattle, they're going to have to rely a lot on Witherspoon, his partner in the secondary, out with injury. Tracy here, he gets down the middle. Big block, Malik Johnson, and that is a second down conversion. Though it looks like an injury on the field here for the Giants, that is their rookie guard into Foya. He'll make his way to the sideline, and that is a big miss for this unit. He's played very well out the gate. Schmitz Jr. will check in right guard, has played some center and guard. Helps get the block there, breaking a tackle. Tracy spun down, close to the line to gain. And he's coming off a day of 105 on 19 carries. And he's been a threat with that ball in his hand. A touchdown as well. 2nd and inches. I formation here with Tracy dotting that I. Dart goes a little bit of some play action. Rolls outside, and he will just tuck and shuffle forward for the first. Now, it is also important to note up front here, for Seattle, they are missing Leonard Williams. We'll see if that has a big impact in their run-stopping effort, as it's Witherspoon again with a big hit. Tracy had almost found his way through. Forces up a 2nd and 7 with the split backfield look here. They go triple option and flip this one out. It's to Edwards. Unable to hit the corner, but it is a first down. Nice little carry there for the practice squad, now making the roster running back from last season. You do get Tracy back in. They go screen out to him, and a good block outside. Malik Johnson, and the pylon is met for the touchdown. Reed could not get there in time to get Tracy out of bounds. Giants march their way down the field on the Seahawks defense, opening this game up with a touchdown drive. A little bit more of duck, duck, goose. Now, as for the Seattle Seahawks offense, they take the field, and it is a unit that looks almost identical to last season. The only addition is a rookie at center. They start at the 26-yard line. Sam Darnold motioning out Walker with that little shuffle motion. Goes underneath. That's going to be caught. Looking to get outside and picking up a good gain. Horton makes the most of his first catch. A little bit of some delayed handoff. No, it's read option. Sam Darnold, and he gets out in space. Showing off the wheels crossing the midfield line. Do not forget about the quarterback. Sam Darnold resurrecting his career here with Minnesota and now the Seahawks. But unable to get outside is going to be Kenny Walker. Alexander with the tackle. And of course, he is feeling the pressure from the rookie behind him, who's just been fighting for some more playing time. We've yet to see him really take the field. 2nd and 11 here is a quick check down outside. Horton close. But he will not have enough there, getting pushed backwards. 3rd and 1. Seattle goes empty set. Motioning the Walker into the backfield and looking to give a pass off. It's swatted down. Newbin. Just pure disrespect on that ball with how he slapped it out of the air. Seattle will have to settle for the field goal attempt, though it looked like Darnold wanted to stay out there. But instead, it's Myers. Left hash, a long attempt, and he pushes it wide right. No good for Seattle. This game begins 7-0 with the missed field goal attempt. Well, the good news for Seahawks fans is their defense will get a quick stop. And the ball right back. They're up to midfield. Going to the tight end here. Noah Fant still a part of this unit. He's got a gain of 6 on first down. Inside a minute to go here in the first quarter. Darnold stepping up. He runs right into the chest of Alexander. Will not be a sack, but no gain. Once again, Giants have forced a 3rd down here, this time at the 35-yard line. Seahawks need 4 for the first down. Darnold shakes one, looks to leak out. Bobby gets the tackle in open field, but it is a first down for the Seahawks. And that one will take us to the break. 7-0, those Seahawks. Plus side now with a fresh set of downs, looking to tie things up. Oh, if they did hit that field goal from earlier, they'd be looking to take a lead. At the 28-yard line, play action here, Sam Darnold flooding the left side, but squeezing that ball in, and bursts no, just short. Arroyo, it looks like he's been taking over primary tight end snaps here today. With 2nd and inches and a lot of pre-snap movement. Looks like they're going to get a neutral zone infraction. While Alexander did have a nice play earlier, that one's going to be costly. A little bit of some reverse. Now Kenny Walker with space almost finds the end zone. Instead taken down at the 9 by Newbin. That moves Seattle to about the 4-yard line. Very close to tying this one up. Empty set though for Sam Darnold. With the pressure set, that ball is incomplete. Very, very close to being a fumble. So 3rd and 1 then. And a heavy set for both sides. Darnold sneaks and is not going to pick up a fresh set of downs here. They mark him just short on the quarterback sneak. They ran that right into Dexter Lawrence. But the offense stays on the field here for Seattle. Throw outside, and that one's picked off. It's Paulson Adebo. Sam Darnold gives it all up and gives some credit to Kenny Walker. Getting over there to get the tackle, though it looks like Dexter Lawrence a bit banged up on that play, holding at that wrist. You really hate to see an injury off of such a great play. But it does give the Giants the ball with the lead at the 37. Their offense goes with some play action. Rolling dart. Will shake off Witherspoon. Has just been all over the field in a massive late tackle. Dart was well out of bounds. I don't know how that one went unpenalized here, as Dart again having to scramble out. Trying to find the edge here, and this time he still takes a late bump. It was definitely not as egregious as the one prior to. And at the 48-yard line, it's I form here. Seattle brings that blitz. Scattaboo bounces off of it. He's got 5. Though it doesn't look like Seattle Seahawks are going to let him stand up after that run. 2nd and 5 as now Tracy has to come back out onto the field. 43-yard line, and they go play action. Fighting is open in the flat, who gets the first down, but not much more. A little too much loft there from Dart. Take a little juice off of that. He might have a massive play there. 1st and 10, though, can't complain as you pick up the blitz. Throws over the middle. That's caught Malik Johnson, unable to break the following 2 tacklers. But he's coming off a tremendous set of games last episode. We saw his X Factor truly break out. We want to see more as 18 gets us down to the 18. Scattaboo's back in. They did not block the linebacker. He tried to break his tackle, but ultimately loses 2. And that's a play Seattle very much needed. 2nd and 12 now at the 21. Looking to go to the air here. Dart steps up. He had an open target in Robinson, but was not able to find him in the kerfuffle surrounding him. So with 3rd and then 17 looming. It'll be at the 25-yard line. Split backfield, Tracy. He's going to motion out. They look to set up a screen. That's to Scattaboo. Look to pick up a big block. He weaves and takes another big hit. Witherspoon headhunting out there and somehow given credit with a 4th and inches. It's definitely not a marking I agree with. I doubt Coach Bearington does, but the offense stays out there. Goal line set, and this time it will be a conversion on a quarterback sneak. Looking to go hurry up as well are the Giants. Right back to it. They got a backup tackle in at fullback right now as they go with a little bit of some play action. Caught fighting, plucking that one out of the air. Ultimately, that throw looked pretty risky, but sets up 2nd and goal here. Flipping it out late, taking the hit, but we've got a touchdown for Edwards. The first of his career. Donovan Edwards was signed to the practice squad last season, stayed there all year. Giants won the Super Bowl. This year he comes back. He beats Gray for that 3rd running back spot, and he gets his first career touchdown as Dart got absolutely lit up. And with that 14-0 scoreline intact, we'll send this one to halftime. Giants right now in charge in Seattle. A couple key 4th down stops for both sides end up keeping this game perhaps a little bit closer than it could have been. But for the Seahawks, it does keep them off the board. Meanwhile, as we take our break here, looking around the league, Ravens trying to bounce back, just find a perfect seam route to their receiver. And Jackson, with that catch by Webster, pick up the win against the Saints, 28-22 over Rattler. Meanwhile, you got 2 3-2 teams over in Cleveland, Browns and Texans. And it is going to be Shedeur Sanders off that back foot, floating across the middle, finding his target with some speed, hits the hashes, and Jerry Jeudy would carry Shedeur Sanders to a win over C.J. Stroud. And speaking of 3-2 teams, the Chiefs, they host the 2-3 49ers. In a heavy rain game handed off to CMC, let him go to work, slipping off that tackle at the goal line. The 49ers find their way by the Chiefs by a 10-point margin, 31-21. It's also important to note Chicago, they take down the Cowboys. So if today's score holds out, we will very much be growing that lead on the Cowboys. But as we get into the second half, driving are the Seahawks. We jump in at the 30. They hand off to Kenny Walker, spinning off of one but not getting away. Deontay Banks with the tackle. This is a opening drive for the Seahawks. They've got to capitalize on. They didn't miss that field goal in the first half. Turnover on downs inside the 5. Things could very much be flipped here. 10 points were basically left out on the table, or at minimum 6, and a big hit. Thibodeau. He got slipped on a few different sack attempts against Jackson. Darnold not so lucky. And that means for 3rd and 16, they've got a long way to go. Motioning out Walker here, making it an empty set. Throwing though left side, and Banks can't hold on. Jackson Smith-Njigba becomes the DB there to break it up, but a 4th and 16 at the 36-yard line. And right now, Banks, he's playing for that extra pay, that contract extension. Here's Thibodeau, who nearly blocked the kick. I don't know how he gets that one out. He definitely took I don't know if that was a full shoulder or an ankle to the chest, but what I know it wasn't was a penalty. 14-3, we jump into the following drive. Marching down the field here, Giants. Here's Scattaboo. If not for Witherspoon, he might have had his longest touchdown run so far. And it's great seeing both these running backs out there making plays. Giants, though, do seem to be running some clock here in the 3rd quarter. Play clock down to 5 before they do finally snap it. And throwing this one towards the back of the end zone. Neighbors guarded well. Emenwar, he just timed up that swap beautifully without taking the penalty. Giants here looking to get outside. Scattaboo tries to spin out Witherspoon. Ultimately just a gain of 1 there. And Edwards checks in here, so we are definitely seeing a lot more rotation at this running back spot. All 3 getting involved with quick pressure. Theo Johnson on the floated pass. He trucks through Witherspoon. And considering he was the one bringing all the hits in this game, that is beautiful to see at the 15-yard line. Scattaboo back in here in the I form. Picks up a good block there, but there's just not a whole lot more space outside of what he makes, grinding forward for 5. But it looks like we might have our final play of the quarter here as Dart keeps the triple option, and he'll pick up that 1st down. And similarly to what the Seahawks did earlier in this game, taking that 1st down into the break, we take it into our final break. No points for the Giants there in the 3rd. Seahawks do tack on 3. But it will be 14-3 as we enter the 4th quarter. Edwards and Scattaboo in the backfield. Scattaboo does go in motion. They'll flip it out late and gonna lose a little bit on it. Ultimately a great tackle there by Finley. Loss of about 3 on the play. Now Dart, with a play call change by the looks of it, tries that hard count, and Murphy is gonna move into that neutral zone. Tafoya back in this game. He perhaps jumps on that one following that motion to help ensure that penalty's called. 2nd and goal here with a strong look. They hand it off. Scattaboo stuck behind Fiden, who he had to try to jump over. But ultimately, Reed is there to flatten him. They stay at the 3 for 3rd and goal. Empty set. And under pressure, broken up. Williams gets a hand on it, almost 2. So a long drive here to just have to settle for that field goal. As they do come out here, flipping it forward. They tried the fake to the fullback. And Seattle's special teams unit was unfazed, ready for it. It'll be a turnover on downs inside the 10. Getting quick pressure. Darnold overthrows to Jackson Smith-Njigba. Coach Bearington getting a little bit aggressive with the blitz package there. And he also brings out the double A gap look to follow with a 2nd and 10. They do throw out to the flat. Looks like, though, that blitz package was ready for it. Thibodeau is there. Pretty safe call, though, while also being aggressive. Darnold trying to buy time. He had an open target the whole time and then takes a knee shot. But for Seattle, it is at least going to be a 1st down so they can keep this drive alive and keep their hopes alive. They just need to find the end zone. Looking to get outside, and again denied. Holland with the stop. Now, we haven't called his name yet, but Carter has been out there today in those 4-3 packages in the heavier sets. Out there on the left side of his defense with a quick throw is outside. Newman, though, takes a bad angle. Charbonnet downfield to the 42. That play could have been stopped around the line of scrimmage with a good angle. Walker, the running back here, as he goes spread out to the right-hand side. Darnold trying to get out there, floats it to him, and tackling a ghost was Bobby Okereke. Perhaps a little nervous with that Carter signing. Who's on the field here? He's getting outside, and he takes down Charbonnet. Hopefully that's just one of many more tackles for him to come in the future. 2nd and 10, and they get motion across. That's Cooper Kupp. He's been held without a catch in this one. Bringing the quick blitz and finding Jackson Smith-Njigba. Banks, though, quickly behind, brings him down, just goes as a gain of 2. Empty set now for Sam Darnold. Lofting this one downfield and picking it off. That's Phillips as he looks for the lane, finding the sideline. He's by the defender. In comes Horton. Will not catch him. It's a pick 6. Drew Phillips. And that should just about be the nail in the coffin of the Seahawks. Darnold forced that one down like Cooper Kupp was Justin Jefferson. Now they do still have at least a drive here to see what they can do, opting to go underneath, and they had several open targets downfield. Might be safe to say that he's just nervous out there, not wanting to go downfield. That's where he's been picked off here today. Now Arroyo going to go in motion, make it a bunch over to that right-hand side. Darnold running around like a chicken with his head cut off, scrambles out and dives forward at the 25. Seattle calls their 2nd timeout. They'll have just one more remaining, needing a multitude of scores here late. And facing the rush here, Darnold flips it out. He's got Smith-Njigba, and outside he goes. Seahawks down to the 11 here with time running low. They face the blitz, throws underneath it. Arroyo flipped upside down. After clocking the ball, we'll have a 3rd and 1 at the 2. They do motion the running back all the way around here, as Darnold under pressure almost tossed that one to Thibodeau. Perhaps a little bit of the Jets days showing here for Darnold. Looks to keep it, and Paulson Adebo is there. Another turnover on downs inside the 10-yard line. That is your game. Giants, they came all the way from New York to Seattle, and despite not putting a single offensive point on the board in the second half, walk away 21-3. A strong showing at times, a little bit lackluster again offensively there in that second half as they coasted their way to victory. The defense, though, with Drew Phillips getting that pick 6, was ultimately too much for Sam Darnold and the Seahawks to overcome. They'll drop another, and for the Giants, they grow their lead atop the NFC East. But it was not all sunshine and rainbows in that game. Tracy was missing a good chunk late there, and that was because he broke his ribs in that game. He will be out 4 to 8 weeks. That means not only are we about to see a whole lot more of Cam Skattebo and see how he can carry this offense, we're also going to see a lot more of Donovan Edwards. He got his first touchdown against the Seahawks. He's got more speed than Skattebo, but he's still pretty raw of a talent. And there's still a bit of an injury concern with him with that 87 injury. Though he's got some solid hands, he can be a duality kind of guy. But he will not be the young player of focus. Darius Alexander, with a good game against the Seahawks, has earned a breakout chance against the Titans. Now, this will be our first time seeing the former first overall selection in Cam Ward, who currently is an 84 overall superstar. He's got really good short and medium accuracies, a strong arm with some solid deep accuracies, but he does need to see some improvement there. He's got some mobility. Honestly, he looks a lot like our quarterback in Jackson Dart. And he'll have Tony Pollard in the backfield behind him and rookie running back out of Miami, Stephen Carey. The Titans did sign in the offseason Jalen Tolbert, adding a true number 1 receiver for Ward. And unless something changes in the lineup, or perhaps they go 4 wide, Dyke has taken over for Io Manor, so Coach Bearington will not be seeing much of his former receiver. Another offseason addition, though, for the Titans will be Will Hernandez. He'll be getting the start at right guard. And one of the best defensive backs in our previous draft was drafted by the Titans. Nathan Oliver will be the cornerback 2 with both man and zone. However, we could beat him with a deep route with some good release. As we finally return to MetLife after 3 straight away games, we host the Tennessee Titans, looking to reach Week 8 before we meet the Cowboys with a 6-1 record, but do not overlook the 2-3 Titans. And it will be our offense out first with Cameron Scattaboo as the primary back. Hoffman looking to get this return, picks up the block from Vallejo and sets us up at the 28. As Jackson Dart takes the field, is he going to have to take on a heavier role here today with the missing Tracy, who at times has been this team's main man and has time and time again saved us. Handoff here goes to Scattaboo. Simmons, though, rips him down. Only a gain of 3, play 1. And they look to go to the air here. Dart fires, finding Johnson, first down. Once again, does a great job of keeping his eyes downfield. He nearly ran that one. Might have still had the first down, but either way, he saves himself. Lets one of the other playmakers get a chance. Scattaboo outside. He bounces off a 2. He's still going and picks up about 20 on the run. There's a bit of that power we've been missing. He'll earn a little bit of a breather here as Edwards checks in. They do go play action. Dart looks to leak out under pressure, and he can't find his running back out of the backfield with that hit. At least a good job there of Dart to realize that he was not going to get away there and tried to make something happen. That's all we could ask for here. The quick throw over the middle. That's going to be Malik Johnson. Not many catches in that previous game. He gets one early on here to the 20. Despite celebrating, their Giants do look to go a little bit hurry up off of that one. Neighbors over on the far outside here. Dart barking a change. Playing off coverage will be the Titans. Throw is underneath, finding Neighbors, but we do have some laundry on the field, and it looks like this one will be coming back. They get John Runyon with the hold. So a loss of 10 now sets up a 1st and 20. Back at the 30. They still look to go to the air here. They've got Scattaboo outside. Dart finds him. Again, he bounces off a tackle attempt. And it was his ability to do that in college that got him drafted here by the Giants. They're going to need a little bit more of that here. Dart looks to get outside. Not much opening up. Throws back across the middle, and he finds Johnson on a play that the coach is going to hate. But it pans out this time. But any quarterback coach watching just went, no, no, no. Do not ever throw a crossbody back towards the middle. Scattaboo here. He's got the touchdown, capitalizing off the bad good play to Theo Johnson. And the first game as running back 1, Cameron Scattaboo gets us going with a touchdown. But now we get to see what Ward and the Tennessee Titan offense can do. They come out with a heavy set. Pollard, the lone back, handing it off to him, and Thibodeau there with a quick tackle. Now the good news for this Giants defense is Dexter Lawrence is back out there. He got a little bit banged up last week. And the quick stop, Deonte Banks. Run game not showing much success out the gate. Alexander obviously needing some TFLs. Sets up a 3rd and 7 here for Ward. We'll have to go to the air for the first time today. Lofted throw is caught. Even breaking the tackle goes Ridley. And for Ward, that was a great throw. Just dropped that one right in between the coverage. Right on time. And he completes that first down, keeping this drive alive. Tony Pollard dropped at the line. Not sure if they're going to count that as a TFL or just a tackle. Either way, it is one of the stats Alexander needs. 3 tackles, 2 TFLs, and a pitch to the outside here. Pollard contained. Carter. So far, the acquisition of him very much paying off. Got rid of a bench player, bring in a guy who can bring some impact now and in the future, though Bobby Okereke misses the tackle on 3rd down. That should have been it. Instead, Dyke converts for the Titans. Their drive still alive and inside the 30. Facing the blitz, that one's out to Pollard. Newman has no idea, reacts late, and too late to get out there. Pollard answers the opening touchdown from Scattaboo with one of his own, though his was a reception rather than a run. Ward with a great opening drive, just staying steady, sitting in the pocket, finding his guys, and his guys delivered. And as we look to jump into the next drive, it'll be the final play here of the first. The 3rd and inches. Dart checking the play call here. They'll snap that ball. It's Cameron Scattaboo with nothing fancy, just enough to make sure they keep that drive alive, and sends us to the break here in a tied ball game at MetLife, 7 apiece. Both offenses with a great opening drive. Giants looking to march here on their second and reclaim that lead. And for them, it'll start at the 41, and a 7-7 ball game. Second quarter is now underway with that snap. Though everyone covered well, Dart gonna flip the hips, look to get outside here, and takes a couple hits. Judon was the first to arrive. He was another addition for this Titans defense in the offseason, a free agent signing. Rolling to the outside here, looking to get Neighbors on the edge, and we'll have him for the first down. Not too much extra, but he's been a great receiver at the sideline here for Dart, who's having to dance around in this pocket. He throws an interception looking for Neighbors. He's got a blocker in front. Cameron Scattaboo will help get involved. They're slowing down Johnson, who picked that ball off. It was one-on-one coverage, under pressure. Dart put it up for his number 1 receiver. Unfortunately, he just did not have the positioning needed. Johnson cut him off in front, and Neighbors was not able to knock that one free or go ahead and moss him. That sends out Pollard and the Titans with a tie ball game. With a great return, they start just shy of the midfield line. Facing the blitz, Ward flops, and he shows how Dart should have thrown that previous ball. Beautiful lofted pass. And they hand this one off to Pollard this time. Slowed down on the edge. Carter even gets a hand on before Newbin pushes him over. All right, now Titans definitely holding that momentum coming off the turnover. They use I form to follow. Going with the stretch. Pollard met by the shoulder of Sanders. Big hit. And outside of passing to him in the flat, he has been pretty well contained here today. 3rd and 4, defense. And a heavy set. Throw across the middle. That'll be caught. Ridley with another shoulder from Sanders to polish off that catch and run. Unfortunately, it was not enough to jar that one free. So 1st and 10 here for the Titans down at the 16. It's a red zone trip. They send their tight end in motion all the way to the right-hand side. Cam Ward throws to the flat. Pollard chopped down. It's Carter. Great seeing him make plays early on here via his trade acquisition. Finding space, though. Carey fights through and does not have the touchdown. I don't know what kind of spotting that was. That should have been 6 for the rookie. Normally, the Giants, not much of getting that home field advantage, especially from the referees. Fullback dive. Helm will not have it either. Dexter Lawrence and Jones clog up that gap. As they shift the line here, it's 2nd and goal. Tight end motions over. There's Carter with a clean tackle in the backfield, pushing them back to the 2. You gotta be wondering if the Bengals are watching this. Wondering if they should have kept him around. 3rd and goal as they go quarterback draw, and Bobby Okereke is shook in the gap. Cam Ward gives the Titans the lead on the New York Giants in MetLife. And the bad rolls on as the first play of the following drive is picked off by L'Jarius Sneed. The defense that just got marched on down the field and gave up the go-ahead score is right back out onto that field with just about a 2-3 play breather. Though Cam Ward misses. I guess the field goal, kickoff, and then the interception play were enough to at least throw off the quarterback. 2nd and goal. Pollard. He's going to be contained. Maybe 2. Well, this is where the Giants have got to get a stop. 3rd and 8. Force a field goal attempt coming off that turnover. They motion out Pollard. They're going to now have 4 options over to the left-hand side. Though finding the seam, a big hit. Holland jars it free, saving a potential touchdown. And indeed, they will have to rely on the field goal. McManus, right hash of the 35. It's blocked. No one realizes it. The ball, I think, is finally recovered by somebody, but it was Banks who initially blocked it, and the holder for the Tennessee Titans do recover, but that is a turnover on downs. So a bit of some shenanigans, but we get the ball and we don't give up any points off the turnover. Going for that play action. Dart looking to roll outside. Will not have the edge. That's a great job from the Titans. Edge man and I believe even linebacker there. Make sure he could not escape. Going to set up the screen though on the following play. Cameron Scattaboo. He shakes off one. Will not get by number 37, Amani Hooker, but that is a first down here for the Giants. They do elect to go hurry up off of that. Trying to get another play in here before the 2-minute warning. The 48-yard line. A little pump fake action. Across the middle, there is Neighbors. Not going to get the spin move, but that clock will roll to the 2-minute timeout. So far, it's been a great answering drive here, trying to tie this game up before the break. We'll have 2 minutes to get that job done. 3 timeouts apiece at the 31-yard line. They do look to go to the air here. That's out to Cameron Scattaboo with the block there from Johnson out of bounds at the 20. Might have shortened him by about a yard, maybe half a yard there. Edwards will check in for him to follow with 2 hands down in the backfield. Dart will throw to his running back. Edwards cannot get by. Looked like the Giants had the path to the end zone. Instead, Titans call a timeout with 2nd and inches, trying to preserve some time for their own offense. It's Cameron Scattaboo to about the 7. With that, the Giants do have a fresh set of downs here, make it goal to go at the 7. Titans call their 2nd timeout, and running the ball will call those timeouts, so it's a good way to utilize and waste those timeouts for the Titans, as Scattaboo's stacked up with no gain. For the Titans, offensively, they now do not have a timeout to work with whatever time they do have remaining for their drive. 2nd and goal. A little motion over. That's Malik Johnson on the right-hand side. Though floating this one over his head and to the other Malik. It's Neighbors to tie this game with about a minute and a half to play here in the first half of your game. It's a good news that we did use up all those timeouts, because play 1 already hit for a good pass, so we're having to jump in here as Ridley picks up yet another first down here for the Titans. Not coasting to halftime this go-around for the Giants. Instead, they'll have to protect the outside here, get the tackles inbounds, as Ward will look to go downfield. Paulson Adebo in one-on-one. He breaks it up. Would have been great to get that interception, but beggars can't be choosers here. Want to make sure we got a tie game. If not, we take a lead. Well, 4, and it looked like Sanders just gave up that catch, backing off in the last possible moment. Not sure what exactly that was about. At the 27-yard line here, Ward back to the line with splits in the back, so it looks like they might just clock it. Indeed, they do. They're inside field goal range, but they've got to be careful here. You're tackled in bounds. You're most likely going to miss a chance at a field goal attempt here. Ward steps up, he throws, incomplete. Paulson Adebo back again to break up a pass. With 15 seconds, couldn't quite tell who moved early there, though it looks like they are going to get Alexander. But it does scoot them a little bit closer to the end zone by 5 yards to the 22. Tackle in bounds, though, and we're out of here no problem. Ward scrambling, throws, and Carey this time has the touchdown. The Titans did not have a single timeout to use, but it was not a problem for them. Cam Ward led them down the field all through the air, and how he was able to make that throw, I couldn't tell you. And that is where we head into halftime. So a lapse there on defense, not only to close out the first half, but just in the first half in general. We have not been able to handle the passing of Cam Ward. That'll have to be a focus in the second half. And speaking of second half, that is where we go. Rather quickly here, we're not wasting any time. We got to get ourselves back in front here. With a throw downfield, dropped by Johnson. He's not one to drop many, if any, passes. That one could have been big. At the 32, it's 2nd and 10. Cameron Scattaboo gonna pick up a nice 7. Now, of course, missing a little bit of that top-end speed is the difference of that being a 3rd and 3 setter rather than a first down maker. So 3rd and 3, we look to go to the air here. We've got Johnson this time, not getting speared in the back. He's carrying us down to the opposite 30. And we're going to make sure we keep on rolling from there. Giants right back to the line. Safety sitting 10 yards deep. Bunch right-hand side for the Giants. Under pressure, lost that one to the rookie, and I'm not sure he caught it. A bit unfortunate there for Dart, who did take the hit to ensure that pass got out there. It's 2nd and 10. Dart keeps, and that ball is down, scooped up by Robinson. That's the first time he's touched the ball in a couple of weeks. Was a big impact last year, but this year has not quite seen the same impact with the rookie receiver joining. Dart goes to scramble here, and he slides down this time. You could say learning his lesson after taking the contact last go. 1st and 10 here, down at the 17. It's a red zone trip. They go to hand this one off. Scattaboo. He's taken down by the last possible defender. Biden, though, did a great job. He got to that 3rd level. If that block just held a little bit longer, or if Scattaboo broke that tackle, ran by it, any of those options, he would have had 6. Not quite 6 there, but yet again, he's close. You could tell he's just itching for that touchdown. A Dart gets them all set here. It's I form. Edwards corralled. The run game worked the previous couple times. Why not try it again? I think they lose about 1 on the play. Scattaboo is back in. As they do set up an RPO, Scattaboo trying to stretch this one, and he will pick up 2. However, that is not enough to get to the end zone. So 3rd and goal here. You got a strong eye. Dart having to go to the air, and he's gonna be dropped. That is the 2nd-year edge man with the sack. Now at this point, you've just got to take the field goal here, drop back to the 17-yard line. Good no. We'll slot that one through. We draw this to a 4-point ball game. Still going to have to rely on the defense to pick up these stops. Well, this time it will not be a quick stop from the defense like they had to open up the second half. Titans around midfield. They hand it off Pollard. He grinds forward for a shorter gain of 3. But all 3 of those were well earned, as he did have to fight through some quick pressure. Facing that quick pressure here, Thibodeau with the sack. Giants pick up their 2nd sack of the game. And outside those sack plays, they really haven't generated much pressure. Well, that is huge for this defense and for the team here, setting up a 3rd and 12. Now they just got to get off the field. Another launch deep downfield. It's Paulson Adebo, just getting that one away from Tolbert. Again, one-on-one. It's been great seeing our top corner step up and deliver for our team. We take the ball at the 19. Play action. And looking to go downfield, or instead, Dart will just take what he can, and it's a pop shot. That was, I believe, Roseboom on the hit, not related to Tyrone Roseboom. Coach Ty of Kent State. 21-17 as we reach the end of the quarter. To the 4th we go in a tight ball game here. Giants with a chance to get on top. If they're going to see this one through, they've got to tune up a little bit of those poor plays. Dart not sliding was definitely one of those. That's a shot he doesn't have to take. Scattaboo, though, down the middle, rumbling to the midfield line. And that's a bit of the pop in the run game we haven't quite had today. Not in any fault of Scattaboo. His running has actually been well. Just that speed difference between him and Tracy. They do go play action off of it. Rolling, throwing, lofting this one out to Neighbors, who looks to get downfield. He slips the tackle, but does not get away from Amani Hooker. But he is down to the 22, setting us up here with a 1st and 10. Scattaboo dotting the I. They're back to that play action. Again, lofted, but definitely not catchable. That should have been a penalty on a tackle that was completely unnecessary. Someone could get hurt on a play like that. Not only Neighbors, but the Tennessee Titans player as well. Johnson in motion here. A lot of players running into each other as Edwards takes the carry for about 3. It does have the Giants back again here into the red zone. They'll come out with a bunch to the right-hand side, trying that hard count and drawing off the DB there. That'll be encroachment. Can blame that one on Roger McCreary. So 3rd and 2, the rather, with 2 in the backfield. Dart hands this one off. That's Edwards with the first down. We're not really seeing anything crazy from him, but he is doing enough to get the job done, and that's all we could ask for here from running back 3. 1st and 10, it's Cameron Scattaboo down the middle for 4. 84 yards on 15 carries. And he's 6 yards away from Pater. The 2nd and 5, just enough space for a fresh set of downs prior to that goal line. As they run the counter, Scattaboo stacked up. So 3rd and 5 here, you got to make sure you at least cross the line to gain. Provide yourself a little bit more time here. With a hard count, they will move at least half the distance. Larry Ogunjobi is the culprit that time for the Tennessee Titans. A 3rd and 2 here. Looks like Dart taking a look around here, reading this defense, and does not have the free play. That ball is down and scooped up by Simmons. It should have been a free play. Tennessee Titans were lined up on the opposite side of the ball at the snap. Dart coughs it up. There is an injured Tennessee Titan on the play. But that is just a huge miss here for the Giants and a blatant miss from the referees. Titans take over. As they go a little bit of some play action, they dump it outside. And that'll be a first down. And we've seen plays like that from the Giants in this one without the penalties. Just a little bit sloppy. And that's what you expect, I feel like, when you come in here with just one loss. And slipping the sack attempt, it's thrown downfield. Ridley almost flipping the field to the 44-yard line. Another bit of sloppy play. Alexander had Ward wrapped up in the backfield. This time Ward on the carry. He's going to just take the contact. The Giants, frankly, don't make him pay for it. Dart, he paid for it last time. High form here, nearly jumping off sides, but back on track. Pollard extends this play outside, and he's got the corner to the house. A 2-score lead for the Tennessee Titans on a drive they should have never even had. Now, it is not time to panic if you're the Giants. You just got to go out there and you got to play clean. That is something they have struggled with today, but if they can get that done, they've got time. A little under 4 minutes to play here. Make something happen as they fire it straight to Malik Johnson, and already they're about at midfield. Now, 100% that was a risky throw from Dart, but it pays off. And you're going to have a little bit of risk here to try to finish this game strong. Dumping this one to Cameron Scattaboo. He's got about 7. Now, they do need to go hurry up to close this game out. As we move inside 3.5 minutes, got to have a touchdown. We need to get that ball back one way or another. And Dart's going to lose a truckload. They went play action. And he tried to get over the top of the rush rather than sticking underneath it. That's not going to pay off. Floated out for Robinson just by his extended hands. Now you got to have a surefire play here. You need to get this first down. The game relies on it. Dart checking a few things out there. He's got 2 to the left, 1 to the right with a split backfield. Buying time. And now he's going to unload for Johnson. He misses a second throw to a possible big hitting play. The defense, frankly, has not had it in this one. They've only given up 1 touchdown here in the second half. That's not what you want to hear when you're currently down 2 scores. Now, coach is going to have to use a timeout there prior to the 2-minute warning. 2nd and 6, they hand it off. Pollard has to jump up to get over the down lineman, and with that, he is stopped at about the line, if not behind. Second timeout called, Coach Bearington. And sitting here at the 40, this is typically about the outskirts of field goal range for most. We'll see what the Titans decide to go with here, and it will be setting up a pass that is airmailed. 4th and 7 at the 40. They could try to make this a 14-point game, but it looks like they will punt. And it's not necessarily a good one. Goes out at the 21 and sends out the offense here. Now with just 1 timeout to spare. They're going to need a miracle here. Dart barking a call out there. As they look to get a one-on-one. Letting this one rip for Neighbors. And it's well defended by Snead. Might have had just a slight bit of early contact there, but not enough to flag it. So 2nd and 10 then. Dart looking to go back to the air here, but takes the hit from the edge man, who actually ended up coming back and stops Dart from scrambling away. A huge impact on that one play. Sets up 3rd and 10. They bring the pressure, so instead they flip it out on the screen to Scattaboo, who's out of bounds at the 39. That's pretty massive as he gets out of bounds prior to the 2-minute warning. So it is a free timeout still here for the Giants, which they will throw right side Hyatt, gain of 9, and there is the warning. We'll have 1:59 to try to find a touchdown and 4 more points to tie. And what should have been yet another free play. Not quite. Refs keeping that penalty in their back pocket rather than calling what should be called. The Giants standing around rather than getting back to the line as quickly as they should be. Limited time comes off the board though. They're back to a little bit more of that play action. Dart lets this one rip to the back of the end zone, and it's off the crossbar. With that one timeout, frankly, you're looking at right now getting a touchdown, and you've got to get an onside as well. So there's still a lot that has to go in favor of the Giants in this one. Possibly could have called a penalty there. Getting into the neutral zone. Dart gonna scramble here. Does not get the block there from Johnson. 3rd and 1. They go hurry up here. 1st down is pretty necessary. You could look to go for that on 4th down, or you go for that here 3rd. As they do go a little bit of some misdirection, and a huge missed tackle force there. Scattaboo spinning off the hit. He's got the 1st down. We don't have to worry about the 4th down. They're out now the 30-yard line. Back to that play action and throws it into the turf. Still out there waiting for that big play to hit. And so far it just has not. 2 hands down on the backfield for Dart. Dropping back. He's got an open target in Neighbors. Finally sees him. And he will shake off one. They say that ball is out. It definitely looked like he was down. That is going to not cost them time, though, as a booth review does come in. So this one, while it was recovered by the Giants, we'll see if that does mark it a 1st down, about a yard closer perhaps. Not a good first view. 2nd view here. Looks to be like he is down. So 3rd and inches there. But they do accelerate that clock here. As they fake that play action. Rolling here. Dart just going to get to the outside and get out of bounds at the 14. Another late hit. He's apparently still not quite at the point where he will get those calls, unlike some other quarterbacks in this league. Little pump fake. Throws right side. Neighbors to the end zone. They get 1. Now what you could do here is go for that 2-point try, make it a field goal game, and then if you hit that onside, you have a far easier chance at tying this game and sending it to overtime. And that looks to be exactly what Coach Bearington is thinking. Offense stays on the field to make this 28-25. They've got to hit this 2-point conversion, but they are not going to. The pressure has been too much. Judon gets back there with 36 seconds. This game will come down to an onside attempt. And here it is. It's by the 1st level, by the 2nd level, but Perry recovers for the Titans. And with only 1 timeout, that is your ball game. There was almost a chance, though. And with where that ball would have been recovered, it would have been field goal range, though you needed the touchdown, missing that 2-point. Either way, Giants do drop their 2nd game of the season, and it came off of pure mental errors, like not sliding down, coughing up a ball, or a couple errant passes today from Dart. But all in all, the defense just did not seem to be able to handle the sophomore quarterback in Cam Ward. They got pressure on him a couple times, picked up 2 sacks, but outside of that, nothing. And when it comes to a breakout opportunity, I don't imagine it went very well either here for Alexander. And I don't agree with Coach. The defense did not play well out there, and we did not get the stats we were looking for from Alexander. He's still made a lot of plays this year, but we still need to see more and continue to see that grow. But as we hit a key point in our season, Week 8, approaching the trade deadline here. Do any more moves need to be made? We also find our second matchup against the Dallas Cowboys. As it stands right now, they've fallen all the way down to last in the NFC East since beating us. I don't know if they've won a game. We just came off a loss. We beat Philadelphia. We beat the Commanders. So we're at a good spot in our division. But that loss was a sour one because it's one we definitely could have won if we just corrected a few things. And it's also unfortunate for Scattaboo that it's his first start and it's a loss. Tracy, prior to his injury, as you could tell here in the rushing yards, was leading the league in rushing. No longer will that be the case. All in all, though, there is still a lot to be happy with this team. Second in offensive points per game, first in rushing yards per game offensively, but the defensive side needs to see some improvement. We're giving up a lot more points this year than last season. We're giving up a lot of rushing yards this season compared to last year. If we break it down by game, we did fairly well against the Eagles in stopping Barkley. We gave up a good amount of rushing yards, though, to Jalen Hurts. Against the Commanders, we completely shut down that run game, which was great to see. Robinson didn't go anywhere, Brown didn't go anywhere, Mitchell, McLaurin, Daniels didn't even get a good scramble. But that Cowboys game, I feel like that might have been where things started to turn. Dak Prescott ran pretty well against us, 14.5 yards per carry on 4 attempts. Spears averaged almost 4 yards a carry. And Jonathan Taylor, he broke off several long runs, including a long of 76, which was part of the $163 he had on us. Almost 100 yards from Anthony Richardson. Lamar Jackson also almost had 100 on us. 42 as his long, so most of the yards came off of 1, maybe 2 rushes. But Derrick Henry in that game, he averaged almost 5 yards. Today, we did mostly a good job in stopping the run against the Seahawks. Charbonnet did have 1 big run, and Sam Darnold had a couple good runs there as well, but Walker, who was their main man, didn't get much going. And then with the Titans, Pollard, he averaged 4 yards a carry. Carey had a really good run, should have been a touchdown. Ward didn't really scramble around as much, but if we could take away the run game, then we are really going to focus these offenses in and hopefully with that start to get some turnovers. This year, we are one of the many teams who haven't forced a single fumble. And approaching the midway point of the year, we only have 2 interceptions on the year. That's tied for 3rd to 4th worst in the league. So it's this defense we need to see step up. That means Thibodeau and Carter need to get more pressure on the outside, and Dexter Lawrence, frankly, has not shown up. We need to see more from him moving forward because right now the only big plays made by the DTs has been Alexander. On top of that, perhaps, we also might need to get the hidden Dev Jones out there a little bit more. Though I am very happy with the play we saw from Carter. Traded for him this episode, he's filling in well. Bobby had probably his worst episode today, missing a lot of plays. Paulson and Debo made some plays, but all in all, the defense was giving up a lot more than they were making today. Against the Cowboys is where we're going to look to bounce back, get that defense flowing like there should be. And if you think we should be making any more trades before the deadline, leave it in the comments below. And while you're down there, make sure you are ready for the next episode here and over at Ken, as we have one more episode this week with the Golden Flashes. We're looking yet again to claim the NFC East. So make sure you're hitting that bear icon in the bottom right corner or scrolling down, hitting that sub button. And while you're down there, hit the like button. It helps YouTube very much know that you are enjoying these videos. Also, if you want to let other people know you're enjoying, if you hit that hype button, it'll pop up more in people's searches. A great way of helping out small channels. But thank you for being here. We had a great first game. We got balanced out and humbled there in the second. We'll bounce back hopefully next time against the Cowboys. We will see you in Dallas.